Thank you all. It's great to be here today. I'm going to share my second speech on my presentation, Mastery Pathway. And I'm going to share a little bit about my most recent experience searching for a job. Searching for a job is hard. And today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, some challenges I faced, some things that I learned, and my next play. As many of you know, I have 20 years of work experience, and most recently, I spent 10 years at Yahoo and Verizon Media Group. And then
Wow.
one day, I was unexpectedly laid off after consistent feedback during the annual review process that I was ranked highest amongst my peers. Regardless, I was laid off. I was shocked at first. However, given my experience and the educational background, I thought finding a new job would be relatively easy, and I was wrong. Some of the challenges I faced. First, the job market is fiercely competitive. All the jobs that I was applying for, there were well over 100 candidates. And so I had to really figure out a way how to stand out and differentiate myself. Then COVID hit. And as far as the roles I was looking at, COVID essentially froze the hiring process for a lot of the companies in the technology space. The other thing that I faced were some outdated job postings. If you go to lots of the job boards and job sites, regardless of the timestamp on the page, many of these jobs are no longer available, or they're much further along in the hiring process, and I was too late to the game. And lastly, finding the right fit. These large companies that I was targeting and interested in are looking for very specific skill sets. And oftentimes my background fit, I would say 50 to 75% of the skills required. However, there was a 100% match. There was not a 100% match. I was passed over. So what did I learn? I learned networking is absolutely critical. It's imperative to have an advocate on the inside who can make an introduction to a hiring manager or somebody in HR. Most of these large companies have applicant tracking systems which are driven by AI technology. And if the keywords in your resume do not match exactly with the keywords in the job description, lots of qualified candidates could be looked over. Secondly, being kind to yourself. I experienced job search fatigue, and I oftentimes got down on myself, being frustrated given the slow process. But once I realized that it's really important to take some time for myself, spend more time with my kids, do some exercising, and enjoy some outdoor activities, the process was much more enjoyable. The other thing I learned was never give up. It's important to be persistent and always continue to try your best, regardless of how much time you're putting in. So early on, I was spending most of my day looking for a job. And over time, I scaled it back a little bit so I could enjoy some other things in my life, but I never gave up. And then lastly, setbacks can be positive. I interviewed for a role a couple months ago and got through the final round 48 hours prior to the final round, in which I was going to present my case study. I heard from HR. They said there was a reorg and the job was no longer available. However, that process led to another offer with the same company 2 months later. So while setbacks can be frustrating, they also can lead to positive outcomes. And my next play. The CEO of LinkedIn often refers to a term, next play. And essentially what he means is that it's important to learn from your past and take learnings and carry them forward. However, it's also important not to dwell too much on the past and really focus on the present with an eye towards the future. So I'm excited to join. I will be joining LinkedIn in 10 days, and it's a company that I've had at the top of my list during my job search journey. And I can't wait to start. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.